the world in every country. And here at Seaside, particularly, we meet twice in a month. The first Saturday of every month, where we meet hybrid, we'll have our venue in Eco Hotel, and also we have provisions to accommodate for guests online. And our second meeting, the second Saturday of every month, it's strictly virtual. Now, you may ask, we are in the 18th day of October. Why are we meeting in the third Saturday? Well, for our guests, every year, Toastmasters holds contests, speech contests. And so it would happen, we have spent the last our Saturdays hosting our area contests where we have speakers from all over the state and various clubs come to wow us and amaze us with their humor and also their impromptu speaking. Now, with that out of the way, I want to give way and introduce our president of Seaside Toastmasters, Toastmaster Kudus Adebayo. Now, who is Toastmaster Kudus Adebayo? He is an actuarial analyst and insurance product development expert, passionate about advancing universal health coverage and deepening insurance penetration in Nigeria. He brings a strong blend of technical expertise and strategic insights to designing impactful insurance solutions. So if you're in the market for any insurance solution, Toastmaster Adebayo is your guy. He's a dedicated communicator and leader. Toastmaster Kudus is a Toastmaster Triple Crown Award winner. Please, a round of applause. Let me see some reactions for our president. A Triple Crown, not one crown, not two crowns, 3 crown award winner, currently serving as president at Seaside Toastmasters. And he is the past program quality director for Area 11. Please join me and welcome Toastmaster Kudus Adebayo to the virtual lectern.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you, the Cider Hams, for this warm introduction. And good afternoon, everyone. I am happy again to welcome you to another Seaside Toastmasters meeting. As it has been emphasized, our club helps its members grow their communication and leadership skills. And how do we do that? We do that based on our method of learning by doing. Here in Toastmasters, we will not just give you the knowledge that is needed to build your public speaking skills. We'll also give you the environment that you need to practice it and ensure that it keeps going. And when you're talking about growth, our theme today is growth mode on. This theme could not be more fitting as we continue our collective and individual journeys of transformation. Growth mode on. According to an American author, Alan Cohen, personal growth is not a matter of learning new information, but of unlearning old limits. This quote talks about what we do here in Toastmasters. Growth to us is not just about adding new skills. It's about we shedding fear, self-doubt, and all the limitations that we've placed on ourselves. So every time that we step up to speak, take on a goal, give feedback to people, what have we just done? We have just chosen growth. we have chose to silence the voice that says, you can't, you can't. And we have replaced it with the one that says, why not try? Growth mode to us means we are not waiting for the perfect moment, but rather we are creating that perfect moment. It means that we keep being open to feedback. We are willing to stumble, but in the end, we are determined to rise higher. So we are going to begin today's meeting, but before we do, I want you to pause for a moment and ask yourself this question. What old limits are you willing to unlearn today? Maybe it's the fear of speaking impromptu, the hesitation to volunteer for a new role, or the belief that leadership is for someone else. Whatever it is, please leave it for Loma. Because, yeah, growth is not optional. It is who we are. So we are going to turn on our growth mode and make this meeting a reminder of just how far we can go when we embrace change and connection. Growth does not happen in isolation. It happens with people when we connect, learn, and challenge ourselves together. Today, we have wonderful people who will all come together and take us through this journey. And I can see that the division director is also on this call. Thank you, sir, for joining. We are really happy to see you. However, there's someone who will lead us through this journey. And we call him the Toastmaster of the day. In every event, you have someone who anchors, who moderates, who leads. Here we call him the Toastmaster of the day. And who is our Toastmaster of the day for today's meeting? He's a strategy and business development professional. He's an avid learner and loves teaching. His favorite quotes: one of the truest tests of integrity is its blunt refusal to be compromised. A quote by Chinua Achebe. Please join me in welcoming our capable, energetic, ever-going, the Vice President of Education for the Premier Club in Nigeria, Eagle Toastmasters, our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Emeka. It's over to you.
Oh, thank you very kindly, Mr. President. TM Kudus Adebayo. Thank you very kindly for that warm introduction. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters. Are we ready to turn our growth mode on? The president has done justice to the theme of the meeting. He asked a very pertinent question. What old limits are you willing to unlearn today? Today is the day you have to unlearn one growth limit at least. He said growth is not optional. It is who we are. At Seaside Toastmasters, growth is not optional. It is who we are. So good afternoon once more, fellow Toastmasters, and our distinguished guests joining us from near and far. Welcome to Seaside Toastmasters Club, where words ripple like waves and each speech adds to the tide of transformation. My name is Emeka Enwere, and I am your Toastmaster of the day. Now, think of the Toastmaster of the day as the master of ceremonies, or compare for today's meeting, the one who guides the program, connects the different segments, introduces the speakers, and keeps the meeting flowing smoothly. And today's theme, Growth Mode On, is very fitting because it captures the energy of progress. It captures the energy of progress. Yeah. The moment we decide to stretch beyond our comfort zone, water our potential, bloom into something stronger, bolder, and wiser. And I have a very discomforting news for you guys today. You know what that news is? We are all addicts. And do you know the addiction? The greatest addiction of all is comfort. The greatest addiction of all is comfort. And the problem is that growth and comfort can't exist. So if you're not pushing, if you're not stressing, if you are not striving, if you are not sweating, it means you are not growing. It means you are comfortable. And that has to change today. Our meeting is divided into 3 segments. First, we're going to start with the prepared speeches, where our members deliver speeches they have been preparing in advance, following the Toastmasters educational parts. The second segment will be the table topics. This is a segment where we learn to speak impromptu. We learn to think on our feet. And the last segment will be the evaluation segment, where we give constructive feedback. It is the most important part of the meeting because that's where we learn and we grow. So on our journey of personal growth this afternoon, my role as TMOD is very simple, quite simple. I am here to guide us smoothly through these 3 segments, keep us on time, and make sure the energy stays high. The energy has to stay high today. Yeah? And now it is time for us to meet the person, that very person, leading the quality control team of our meeting today. The one who is going to ensure we stay focused, uphold the high standards of Toastmasters, and most importantly, grow through feedback. Our general evaluator for today is a man whose career mirrors the spirit of our theme, growth mode on. He's an accomplished advertising and business strategist, serving on the board of several technology-driven companies. A strong advocate for tech-enabled innovation and community service. He brings both strategic depth and a heart for impact. He joined Toastmasters to sharpen his public speaking and leadership abilities. So, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, with unalloyed enthusiasm and a thunderous round of applause, let's welcome to the virtual lectern our general evaluator, Toastmaster Ebube Modi. Over to you, the general evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Emeka Enwere, for the succinct and very warm introduction. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, good afternoon. As has been introduced, I'm going to be serving in today's meeting as your general evaluator. And as your general evaluator, my role is to evaluate everything that and everything. In the words of Bill Gates, a renowned philanthropist, he said, and I quote, that we all need people that will give us feedback. And that is how we improve. And in Toastmasters, there is a minimum standard that is expected for our meetings to run. My role, the role of the team I'm going to be working with, and the audience that have joined in today's meeting, our duty is just one, to ensure that we meet the Toastmasters experience. And for us to meet the Toastmasters experience, Toastmasters International has demystified workflow so that it can be delegated and distributed across skilled personnel that can also come up stage and also deliver value to help us maintain the Toastmasters experience. And at that, I'm going to be working with a team of experienced role players that we have traveled far and wide. We have left Lagos. We have left, at some point, we left Nigeria to try to see how to get these experienced Toastmasters to help add more value to the quality of our meeting. And I'm going to be calling on our experienced role players so that they can, by their own words, explain to us their roles and responsibilities, and then tell us what they'll be looking out for that can either help them to give you a commendation or that can even help them to come back and then give you some form of correction on what to do and what not to do again. And at that, I'm going to begin by introducing our grammarian for today's meeting. Our grammarian for today's meeting is an exceptional personality who works as a business intelligence and performance management analyst. Outside of work, he enjoys spending time with his family and investing. His favorite quote is, "Success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts." And our grammarian for today is no other person than Toastmaster Bankole Akin Yare. Toastmaster Bankole, please, if you are still on the call with us, kindly come off stage and explain your role for today's meeting. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, General Evaluator, Toastmaster of the Day, fellow Toastmasters, our distinguished guests, good afternoon. In the words of Ludwig Wittgenstein, an Australian-British philosopher who explained how thoughts and how language shapes thoughts. So he said that our language, the limit of our language is the limit of our world. So speaking of language, the word of the day today is flourish. Flourish simply means to grow and develop in an healthy and vigorous way, especially in a favorable environment, such as we have in the Toastmasters environment. An example of the usage of this word is, as we embrace growth mode on, we expect our public speaking skills to flourish. So, as your grammarian, I'll be listening closely to all the words that will be spoken, noting the word of the day, exceptional use of strong language, and also gently noting down areas we can improve on so that we can improve in our speaking and we can also flourish together. So let us make every word count. I will now hand over back to the General Evaluator. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Bankole. Please, can we celebrate Toastmaster Bankole for how well he has flourished to introduce his role to us? Please note the word of the day to be flourish. When you come up stage, try and make it a duty to use the word of the day, flourish. When you want to chat when you want to drop the message on the chat comment section, please try to see also how to infuse the word of the day, flourish. I'll quickly move on to our next role player. And this next role player is going to be serving in the capacity of the timer. She is an accountant who likes watching movies and surfing the internet. And her favorite quote is, "There is no limit to what we can achieve." She's an exceptional lady. I keep meeting her in a lot of meetings, and she has the flair and the keen to continue to flourish in her leadership and personal growth journey. Please, fellow Toastmasters and guests, join me with a thunderous round of applause, virtual applause, as we welcome Toastmaster Charity to the virtual lectern to give us an explanation of her time. Over to you, Toastmaster Charity.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests. They say time waits for no one. And as timer today, I'll make sure it doesn't wait for us either. To ensure we make best use of our time and to allow every speaker to truly flourish, I will be timing every segment of the meeting. This includes table topics, prepared speeches, and evaluations. Alerting each speaker of the time left using the green, as you can see in my background, the yellow, and the red card. For prepared speeches, you have 7 minutes. At 5 minutes, I will show the green card. At 6 minutes, I will show the yellow card. At 7 minutes, I will show the red card. For table topics, you have 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I'll show the green card. At 1 minute, 30 seconds, I'll show the yellow card. And at 2 minutes, I'll show the red card. For evaluations, you have 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I'll show the green card. At 2 minutes, 30 seconds, I'll show the yellow card. And at 3 minutes, I'll show the red card. I will come back at the end of the meeting to give my report. To also add, I will keep my hand raised just to ensure everybody can see my screen, my timing cards, and to make sure I'm pinged to everyone's screen. Thank you, and it's back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Charity, for the detailed explanation of your role. Can you proceed now to keep your hand raised so we can see it? Thank you. And do you have something that you can mask your face so that when you turn on your video, we only get to see your timing card? Is it possible to mask your camera and leave your video on?
Yes, I've been doing that.
Thank you so much. Now, you have heard from the word of the day, Flourish, from the grammarian. You have also heard from the timer, and she has given us a charge to ensure that we keep to time when we are given the lectern to either speak or to play a role. And I will quickly move on to our final role player for today's meeting. And this role player is going to be serving in the capacity of the account. And this gentleman is a real estate investor, a voice actor, a persuasive copywriter who helps businesses stand out, attract and retain customers by clearly putting their unique values. His journey toward confident communication began when he learned to accept his own voice and the power of his ideas. When he is not closing real estate deals or crafting brand stories, he's probably skipping the kitchen and discovering new spots to eat out. Now, please, with a virtual round of applause, join me to welcome our accountant for today's meeting, Toastmaster Austin Use, for his explanation of his accounting duties. Over to you, sir, Toastmaster Austin.
Hello. Thank you very much, General Evaluator. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. We can agree that for anything to flourish, there has to be someone who keep an eye on it. And for our communication skills to flourish for the day, I am that guy who would keep an eye on the little things that possibly hurt our communication. So in that capacity, I'm going to serve as the accountant of the day. And the responsibility of the accountant is to keep an eye on the pause fillers, the expressions, words, sound that we use as pause fillers for anyone who is speaking. So during the meeting, I'll be keeping an eye. I'll be doing 3 things in 3 categories. The first category is to keep an eye on the repetition, the words that we repeat, such as this means. Then the second category, I'm going to be keeping an eye on the filler expressions. Just like you have heard me done a few seconds ago rather. Then the last category is going to be our overused words. Well, you know, and all that. So at the end of the meeting, I'll come with my evaluation. Thank you. Over to you, my General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Austin, for the detailed explanation of your role. Now you have heard from the entire team. The grammarian used the word of the day, flourish. The timer is going to be having a set of timer cards to also keep us to time. And then the accountant, try not to use too much of the overused words and be more intentional with filler words and filler sounds. And now I believe you have met the tag team who would relinquish, will go backstage, take notes, and then at the end.
Toastmaster Baby, you're muted.
My sincere apologies. Okay, so I have said quite a lot, so let me just summarize. Thank you so much. I believe you have met the tag team, and now we'll go backstage to then take notes, and then we would come back to give a report on how well we have delivered the Toastmasters experience in the course of today's meeting. And at that, I'm going to relinquish control of this segment and hand over control back to the Toastmaster of the day for the continuation of the meeting. Now, over to you, Toastmaster Emeka Enwere, our exceptional Toastmaster of the day for today's meeting. Over to you, sir.
Oh, thank you very kindly, Toastmaster. Toastmaster Modi. Thank you so kindly, Ebube. Thank you for that brilliant execution of your role and for introducing your quality control team. And now, fellow Toastmasters, it is time to flourish as we move into the heart of today's meeting, the prepared speeches segment, where growth takes center stage. Here, members are going to deliver speeches they prepared and nurtured through practice and perseverance. At Toastmasters, and especially at Seaside, every speech is a step forward, a visible sign of growth in progress. Each speaker will inspire us in their own way and demonstrate that growth is both a journey and an art. Our first speaker to kickstart this segment today and set the pace for today's growth journey is none other than Toastmaster Oluwatosin Alayande. But before I call Toastmaster Oluwatosin to the virtual lectern, I would like to introduce his evaluator. And who is going to evaluate the first speaker today? That person is no other person than TM Kofoworola Jagun. She is a student of social work at the University of Lagos. She considers herself a polymath. Oh, wow. And she finds joy in exploring various interests. She enjoys helping others and volunteers with NGOs she's passionate about. Her hobbies are journaling, storytelling, watching Netflix, and creating lists. Her favorite quote is, "It is possible. It is the possibility of having a dream come true that makes life interesting." Toastmaster Kofoworola, kindly take the virtual lectern and tell us the objective of the first speaker. You have the stage.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Emeka. Our first speaker is going to be speaking from the Presentation Mastery Pathways, Level 1, Speech 4. The Level 1 Speech 4, the purpose of this project is to practice applying feedback and to serve as a speech evaluator during a club meeting. The purpose of this particular speech is for the member to present a speech and receive feedback from the evaluator. This feedback will then be used to refine the speech and give the speech a second time. Toastmaster Oluwatosin is going to be delivering a 5 to 7 minute speech, and let's all support her and just encourage her so she can flourish better as a Toastmaster. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Emeka. Over to you.
Thank you very kindly, Toastmaster Koforola. So who is Toastmaster Oluwatosin? Oluwatosin is a skilled multimedia presenter with extensive experience in speech writing, event hosting, and voice acting. That's amazing. With a strong passion and enthusiasm for effective communication, she teaches and influences on imbibing communication and leadership skills. She is an associate of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations and holds certifications in voice acting, elocution, among others. Toastmaster Oluwatosin, as you take the virtual lectern, may you flourish like a flower on a fertile field. Please, let's give her a big hand as she takes the virtual lectern. Over to you, Toastmaster Oluwatosin.
Thank you so much, Mr. Toastmaster of the day. Please, I want to confirm if I'm being seen and being heard.
We can hear you, but we
being heard,
can't
please?
see you. We can hear you, but
okay.
we're only seeing the green timing card.
Okay, please, can I be seen now?
Yes, we can see you.
All right. Thank you so much once again, Mr. Toastmaster of the day. Tosin, by the time you're my age, you won't be able to walk through the door. And my children are your age mates, and I doubt if you will be able to achieve what they have achieved in a long time. Bumi, I heard your dad uses his car for a taxi. Why is he doing that? It's so embarrassing to me as a friend. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and Toastmaster of the Day, distinguished guests. I have been rightly introduced, and in the next 5 minutes, I will be speaking on a topic called the mirror effect. Before I go further, let me ask you, have you ever been in a situation where the words of others exaggerated the pain you are going through? Or on the flip side, how have your words filled the pain of others? According to the Persian poet Rumi, before you speak, let your words go through the 3 gates. Is it true? Is it kind? Or is it necessary? The statements above are words that have been said to others in one situation or another without going through the scrutiny of these 3 gates. Let me quickly give a backstory. So Anu is a young member of a professional association, and she had an issue with an older member of the association. And the woman had to tell her that, so you disrespected me. And so, had to relate it, tell her that you don't have to disrespect me. You're like my children's age mate, and they've achieved much more than what you have achieved. And finally, the other story. When I was growing up, my dad worked as a timber contractor. Timber contractor are men that go to the bush, fell trees and process them, take them to the sawmill, and we have the end product of wood that we use all around. And so yes, business was going on well, but at a particular time, his association, the Timber Contractor Association in Ondo State, had an issue with Ondo State government. And when there is to and fro between government and an association, they locked the bush. This means that they were not allowed to go to the bush and fell trees, which was a major source of income. He's a parent, and so he had to make do of what he had at hand then to provide for the family. And so he started using his SUV, his Lancer SUV, to pick people from Ondo town where we reside to a neighboring town. Like when people are going to work, he picks them, and in the evening, he brings them back from work, like the typical Uber of today, but of course, without the hassle of having to book online. And so this particular day, my dad's closest friend that was doing financially, was in a financially better place than us, called my elder sister and told her, Bumi, I heard your dad uses his SUV to pick people and drop them off. I mean, it's embarrassing to me as his friend and all. My sister busted into tears. She was sad. Her dad was just ridiculed to her. I remember that when she got home and we were talking over dinner in the evening, she mentioned it. And she was still crying when she said that thing. I looked at my dad's face. My dad was broken. His ego had been shattered. His friend had just shattered his ego in front of his daughter. He shook his head and walked inside. I saw it. My dad was unhappy. And I asked myself, why would his friend do this? If you had an issue with what he was doing, you could have called him or his wife rather than call his daughter and ridicule him. His friend's words were not kind. And if you ask me, they were not necessary because a parent would go any length to provide for their family. Now, honestly, I do not want to go into details of how events turned out in the nearest future because I believe that as human beings, we do not have control over how things turn out. We can only try and work hard and hope for success. Anu was told it would take time to get where some people's children were, but she's doing so well. And Dad, we give God the glory. The effect of our words can either make or effect they will have on people. Now, I'd like to illustrate with these two notes. This is a very new 1,000 Naira note, and this is, if you take this note, I'm sorry, my internet was disrupted. So quickly, I was asking, the value, the nature, the state of this note does not determine the value. You can buy the same thing with two of them as long as they are 1,000 Naira notes. And so it's important that we know that our height, that our wealth, that our status, that our success, that whatever we have does not give us the right to berate others or make them feel less of themselves, because the truth is we are all the same. Finally, this tongue is sharper and can do more harm than good if not carefully used. So we should be careful of the words that come out of our mouth, because once they come out, that's it. Finally, fellow Toastmasters, I put it to you. Before you speak, make sure that your words pass through the scrutiny of the three gates. Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? Thank you, fellow Toastmasters, for having me. Over to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day.
Wow, 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 wow. Please give her a tumultuous round of applause. That was no warm-up. That was a knockout punch. Let's see if the next speaker can land one of their own. A voice actor giving us advice on how to use our voice, how to use our tongue. I will listen to her. She's a voice actor. The three gates. Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? Thank you very kindly for giving us those words of wisdom that will enable us flourish on our journey to becoming better humans. And now on to the next speaker. The stage is already buzzing and it's getting hotter. But before I introduce the next speaker, let's call on his evaluator to give us the objective of his speech. And who is evaluating speaker two? It's no other person than Toastmaster Michael Nosiri. Michael Nosiri is an ex-banker turned entrepreneur in the solar energy industry. He's passionate about education and technology. He loves traveling, making new friends, exploring, and reading. Toastmaster Michael, please tell us the objective of the second speaker. You have the virtual lectern.
Thank you very kindly, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day. Thank you so much. I have the pleasure to evaluate Toastmaster Muhammad Kabir Abdullahi. His speech objective of this project is for him to learn about the different communication styles and identify his own primary style. He is also supposed to speak and share the impact of these styles on him and others. Toastmaster Muhammad Kabir, I don't expect anything less from you. Kindly break a leg. I say kindly, and be gentle on us. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you very kindly, Toastmaster Michael. Our next speaker steps up to a stage that is already buzzing with energy. Will our second speaker match this energy, surpass it, or redefine the game entirely? Who is our second speaker? He's Toastmaster Muhammad Kabir, an engineering graduate from Ahmadu Bello University, currently employed in the oil and gas industry. He's a big boy. Join Toastmasters to enhance public speaking skills and self-confidence and foster personal and professional growth. Passionate about learning, teaching, and uplifting others. So please, with a boisterous applause, let's welcome to the virtual lectern, Toastmaster Muhammad Kabir. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day. Please, can you kindly confirm I can be seen and also be heard?
We can see, we can hear you, sir.
Thank you very much. Tony Robbins, an American author, coach, and motivational speaker, said, to communicate effectively, we have to realize that we are all different in the way we perceive the world, and to use that understanding as a guide when communicating with others. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and our dear guests. Communication is the bedrock of every relationship, be it romantic, parental, or professional. And for communication to flourish, there has to be understanding. And this is where we stumble. Most of the time, we don't really understand people. And I've come to realize that we all communicate through different masks. We wear masks not to deceive others, but to navigate the world and to adapt, to protect ourselves, and to connect. 4 masks in particular have come up for me depending on the moment. The direct mask, analytical mask, supportive mask, and initiative mask. I'll tell you what I mean. A few months ago, I was at a networking event. Someone came up to me, and looked at my tag. Caliphate Times Media. So, what is Caliphate Times Media? My first instinct was to launch into a long explanation about how I come from a family of journalists and storytellers, how my co-founder has been reading newspapers ever since he could talk and his father collected them. But that moment, I chose to wear my direct mask to be clear and concise. And I said, Caliphate Times is a startup digital media rooted in truth, focused on impact. We tell stories from northern Nigeria with clarity and pride. He smiled and nodded, inviting me to tell him more. Now, that moment taught me about the power of precision, saying what matters. I found myself wearing a different mask a little earlier than that. I was in the market to buy a piece of land. I found a developer, everything looked fine until my lawyer discovered during the due diligence process a power of attorney document attached to that land that was not mentioned before. When we went back to the developers, they brushed it off. During the meeting, one of the co-founders began to name drop. He had worked at Coast Grove this, he has a reputation that so many people have already subscribed this. And they even went ahead to offer to draw up an indemnity clause to hold the owner personally liable should in case anything goes wrong, just to make me comfortable. And we left on that note. But later, I wore on my analytical mask, detail-oriented and logical. And I called the sales agent and I told him, deals off. And he asked, why? I said to him, if a power of attorney document exists, that means someone has authority over that land. And the fact that you would rather draw up new papers than to provide proof tells me that the authority over that land is unclear. And if it's unclear now, it will be chaos later. Now, while at this stage of my life, I can afford to take high risks, that one risk is too high for my appetite. And that was it. Sometimes clarity is the cleanest form of communication. But not every situation can be resolved with logic. Sometimes you need something gentler. We all know the popular saying, men are scum. We all know this. So one quiet evening, my cousin called me with another story trying to prove that point. Her voice sounded tired. And she said, maybe there's something wrong with me. My initial instinct was to launch into a long speech about how to fix it, offer solutions, but I wore on my supportive mask, calm, caring, and patient enough to let silence do the work. I let her finish, I didn't interrupt. And when she was done, I said, of course, there's nothing wrong with you. Sometimes people's limits are just the test to show us our true strength. Now, earlier this year, my company hired new graduate trainees, very bright and eager. A few were assigned to my department. In the first few weeks, I kept checking in on them. I flooded their inboxes with templates, reports, any documents to help them connect the dots quicker. I would walk by their desks, asking them how they are settling in. I would get mostly polite nods, warm smiles, one-word answers. Then after a few weeks, I told myself to back off a little bit. Let them find their rhythm on their own. I was wearing my initiating mask, the social connector trying to spark conversation. Then one afternoon, I was at my desk, deep in a spreadsheet. I felt a shadow by my side. One of the trainees stood there with laptop in his hand, and he said, can I ask you something? And that was it. The wall was down. Initiating is about openness and showing the person that you is safe to respond. Now, all of these point to different masks I had to wear to communicate. Direct when clarity mattered more than detail. analytical when decisions were based on logic, supportive when someone needed to be heard, and initiating when a connection needed a spark. Now, my natural mass is the analytical. I like logic, structure, and measured words. But what life and leadership has taught me is that communication is not only about finding your voice. It's about knowing what masks to wear and when to change it. Because if we adapt how we communicate, we stop speaking to be heard and start speaking to be understood. Thank you very much. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Wow, wow, wow. Please, let's give him his flowers. Ladies and gentlemen, that was a flat out sensational speech. His command of the space, his command of the stage, the rude confidence, cool, calm, collected. It's like the first bite of hot puff, warm, sweet, and comforting. Thank you very kindly, Toastmaster Muhammad. The second speaker has raised the stakes and the race is now wide open. And now the third challenger approaches, stepping up to a bar already skyscraper high. Let's see what will happen next. But before I call on the third speaker, let's see who is going to evaluate him so that he can come on and tell us the objective of his project. He will be evaluated by Toastmaster Kudus Adebayo, our own president. He's already been introduced. So Toastmaster Kudus, please, you have the virtual lectern.
Thank you very much, the Toastmaster of the Day. Toastmaster Mary Aladimeni will be speaking from the pathway presentation mastery. Our speech is from level 3 of this pathway. And our speech purpose is for her to learn or review basic research methods and present a well-organized, well-researched speech on any topic. Toastmaster Mary has spent time researching what she will be talking about today. So anything you'll be hearing is going to be well-researched. And if you know Toastmaster Mary quite well, she's someone who likes to make a lot of research. So what you are going to be getting is one of the best. It's over to you, the Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you very kindly, Mr. President. So who is Toastmaster Mary Aladimeni? She's a trained architect and a dynamic entrepreneur who runs a thriving export business. In addition to managing her enterprise, she is deeply committed to education and empowerment, teaching others how to navigate and succeed in the world of export. She also serves as the president of an export cooperative where she leads initiatives to support business growth and collaboration within the community. Beyond business, she's passionate about women's healing and empowerment, dedicating her voice and platform to helping women rise above adversity and reclaim their power. She joined Toastmasters to develop her communication, leadership, and public speaking skills. Please, with a rousing and warm applause, let's welcome to the virtual lectern, Toastmaster Mary. Over to you, madam.
Good afternoon, everybody. Please confirm you can hear me. Can I be heard, please?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Good afternoon. Have you ever smiled when your world was falling apart? Have you ever smiled? Have you ever been out there when inside you were falling apart? I have. And I know a lot of us, some of us might have also been. like that. We've learned to wear our shields like hammer. We've kept showing up even when we were down. But today I want us to step away from that mask, and I want us to discuss something very real and something very important. And that is our mental health. Because sometimes it's okay not to be okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, Toastmaster of the day. According to the World Health Organization, mental health is a state of well-being. It's a state of our well-being, which as an individual, it helps us to realize our own abilities, the things that we can work with, the things we can cope with, and be productive. So it's not about the mental illness, it's about balance. How do we find balance in our day-to-day activity? The World Health Mental Health Report of 2022 found out that nearly 1 in 8 people globally live with mental health condition. And that is depression, that's anxiety, can be in form of PTSD, just to name a few. And this costs $1 trillion of the world productivity each year. These are not just numbers, they are people like you and I. People like you and I, in many cultures, such as ours, were told to stay strong, maybe go to church and pray it off. We're supposed to just keep it moving, keep pushing, right? But depression is not weakness. Anxiety isn't drama. PTSD is not a show. It is real. These are real biological and psychological conditions. The primary causes of mental illness is stress and trauma. And majority of us, if not all of us, we go through stress every day. But how are we able to manage these stresses so that we don't fall into mental illness? Traumatic life event happens, and there's some ongoing stress that increases the risk of mental illness. We have social isolation, we have domestic violence. It could be relationship, maybe in your marriage it could even be from work or your financial situation or work experience. So what are the signs and symptoms that we can see to check? Because a lot of us feel like when people isolate themselves or when we're not getting to reach people, we feel like they are too busy. We're not able to check on people. So what signs and symptoms can we check on to know when people have have mental illness? Because it's a serious matter. One is feeling sad. When you see someone who's feeling sad and is down, excessive fears and worries or feeling of guilt, extreme feel of guilt. Then we have extreme mood swings. That's why you see some people, when you hear of maybe they committed suicide, which is the extreme situation of mental illness, right? Some persons will say, oh, but they were so happy, they were so joyous, they were dancing and they were all over the place. Some of those things are cry for helps, right? So when we see the extreme situations of down, then we withdraw us from friends and family. Withdraw us from activity. You know this person loves this activity, but the person keeps finding one excuse after the other. His work, his this. Sometimes it could be those things, but a lot of times it's not, right? The low energy, the tiredness, the problem having problems sleeping. Sometimes if you can't sleep, it could be mental health, right? Confused thinking and all. So this could be for us looking inward and also looking out for friends and family. Then how do we improve our mental health? You have to connect with other people and we have to run away. I told you before that some of these traumas are caused from toxic toxic friendship, right? So you have to detach yourself from toxic friendships, and there's situations where you cannot detach yourself, and those situations you have to learn how to manage these friendships, right? Then You have to be physically active. It could be 30 minutes of walk every day. I think I say that all the time, being physically active. I struggle with that myself. I try sometimes. Then you can learn a new skill. You could give to others. It might not be monetary, it might be voluntarily, volunteering rather. You could volunteer at NGOs and all of that. Practice mindfulness. A lot of us are here and our minds are somewhere else. A lot of us are in one place and we are thinking about 10 years or something else. There's no time I talk about mental health and I don't talk about worry. I talk about leaving everything for God to fix, right? Because we really don't take care of ourselves. So sometimes the things that we worry about tomorrow, there's so many things that I've worried about in the past and I've let go. And it was the moment that I let go of those things that things just started happening. And so I always talk about that. I know we don't talk about, I won't be able to go into much of that because I know we don't talk about that in Toastmasters. So more other things is find a relaxing activity. It could be swimming, it could be yoga, anything that focuses your mind, that helps your mind. You can focus on positive things. A lot of us are negative. Some persons, I won't say a lot of us, some persons are negative. They only see the negativity in every situation, but let's pick out the positive thing and enlarge it, right? Pick out what's positive about a situation and let's enlarge it. Then we make sleep a priority. You have to stay hydrated. Then you exercise and practice gratitude. There are things you're grateful for. When you look all around you, trust me, there are things to be grateful for. Grateful that you woke up this morning, grateful that you can talk, you can even see me, you can hear me. These are things that we take for granted because when we go to the hospitals, you see people that cannot do these things. You can move your arms, your legs. Gratitude. We know we're going through a lot. Some persons are going through a lot, but and a lot of these things because we magnify the things that are going wrong and try to shrink the things that are going perfectly well in our lives. So we have to reverse it and just do the reverse, which is the other one. So mental health is not a disease. Mental health is not a disease. Mental illness is a disease. Mental health is not a destination, rather it's a journey, one with ups and downs. Some days we thrive, some days we survive, and both are okay. It's okay not to be okay. So the next time you feel like you're not okay, remember you're not broken, you're human, and it's perfectly okay not to be okay. Thank you.
Thank you very kindly, Toastmaster Mary. Please give her a big round of applause. Please give her flowers. Thank you for that great speech that addresses a very important topic: stress and trauma, the primary causes of mental illness. We should learn how to better manage stress and trauma. Thank you for that great speech, Toastmaster Mary. That was a flourishing round of prepared speeches. Thank you to everyone that participated. Now it is time to vote. But before I call for the vote, I would like to hear from our timer if the speakers were within time. Over to you, Toastmaster Charity.
Thank you, TMOD. For prepared speeches, Toastmaster Tosin spent 7 minutes, 3 seconds. Toastmaster Mohammed spent 8 minutes, 43 seconds. Toastmaster Mary spent 8 minutes, 9 seconds. Toastmaster Mohammed and Toastmaster Mary exceeded the allotted time. Thank you.
Oh, that's so disheartening. So we have only one person left, so there'll be no need for votes. Thank you very kindly, Toastmaster Charity, for executing your role with sniper-like precision. Moving on to the next segment of our meeting today, and that's the table topics session. We've heard from speakers who prepared for weeks. Now it's your turn, the impromptu thinkers. There is no time to prepare, and that's what life offers, no time. When it calls, you have to perform. Our next segment is the table topic session, where we sharpen our quick thinking and speaking skills. To lead us in this segment is a wealth management, estate planning, and trust practitioner. She is a musician, recording artist, and a voracious reader. Her favorite quote is, "Do not refuse to help those people who need help. If you are able to help them, do it," by King Solomon. Please welcome with a round of tumultuous applause to the virtual lectern, Toastmaster Bolanle Komolafe, our table topics master. Over to you, Bolanle.
Thank you very kindly, TM Emeka, TMOD. I believe that with the kind of introduction that you have given me, I have no choice but to flourish in my role of today. And I hope that I will have the cooperation of everyone in the room for us to have a flourishing session. Like you said, this is the table topic session, and it's a portion of the meeting that helps members to train themselves to quickly organize and express our thoughts very promptly. So in this session, we have a number of questions. By the way, it's marvelous. You're going to be our first speaker of the day. So I just want to give you an advance notice. So the timer has already told us the time of today for each presentation. I have on my list 8 questions, and each person that volunteers, apart from TM Marvelous, will have the opportunity of picking any number from 1 to 8 and speaking as I give them a topic. Now, let's put a little twist on it. In the interest of time, can you just raise your hands and leave them raised if you would like to volunteer for this session? When I call upon you to speak, you would let us know if you are a guest or a member before you pick your number. So please, volunteers, just raise your hands and keep them raised while I call on TM Marvelous to pick a number from 1 to 8. TM Marvelous.
Number 1, please.
Pardon me, TM Marvelous, I did not get the number you picked. Please, could you say it again?
Number 1.
TM Marvelous, assuming you were your younger self of 10 years ago, write a letter to yourself and deliver it today, being the 18th of October, 2025. I'll take that question again. Assuming you were your younger self of 10 years ago, write a letter to yourself to be delivered today on 18th of October, 2025. I wish you a flourishing speech, dear Marvelous.
Good afternoon, Toastmasters and guests. My letter will start this way. Dear Marvelous, dear younger self, today is the 18th day of October 2025. You are all grown now. Future held. But I'm glad to tell you that even if you are not where you aimed to be, you are flourishing. I also would like you to know that maybe you should have just breathed and enjoyed life rather than worrying. But it's good that you should know that we are okay. So rest easy. We did this and we are winning. Thank you. Over to you, the Table Topics Master.
Thank you kindly, TM Marvelous, for taking on this responsibility and charging ahead with your intention to grow. I know that that was a flourishing topic for you to have attempted. Now, I have 3 hands raised, and I still want to see more hands. Fantastic. I'll start with TM Charity, who was the first person to raise her hand. TM Charity, please go on.
Hi, Table Topics Master. My hand is raised because I'm the timer and I'm showing my cards.
Oh, apologies for that. I will now move on to TM Austin.
Hello, confirm if you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you, TM Austin.
Okay. Question 4.
Describe 2 key people in your life that have contributed to your growth in the past 5 years. I'll take that again. Describe 2 key people in your life who have contributed to your growth in the past 5 years.
Thank you very much. First of all, I'd like to show my appreciation and gratitude to God Almighty. There is no way I'm going to talk about key people in my life without putting him in reference. However, if we have to talk about in human capacity, I'll make a special mention to my younger sister, Faith. She has been my emotional support and, most importantly, my financial support when need be. Also, my mother. My mother has always been that person, that friend you never thought you needed. But when things fall apart, literally or figuratively, she's always there. And she's always been my planning body. So if I have to give appreciation to anybody in my life that has contributed to my growth, I'd say let's give 3 people the accolade: my God, my mother, and my sister. Thank you.
Thank you very much, TM Austin, for showing us the people in your life who have contributed to your growth and helped you to flourish. And now move on to TM Muhammad. TM Muhammad.
I will take question 7. I hope is it just me, but the Table Topics Masters seems frozen from my own end.
No, it's not just you. Maybe you picked a difficult question and she's having difficulty reading it. I think our network.
Yeah, we lost TM Komalafe. I'm
Okay, she's back now.
okay. TM
Just
Komalafe,
for a few, yes.
oh, go ahead.
Please, I want to confirm that TM Muhammad answered the question.
Well, I didn't get to hear the question.
Oh, apologies for that. I will go over it again. I did not know I could do it, but I did. If you were to make this statement about yourself, what would it be about? I'll take that again. I did not know I could do it, but I did. If you were to say this about yourself, what would you be talking about?
If I could say it, I did not know I could do it. I never thought in my life, I imagined myself, I would stand in front of a group of people, let alone strangers, to pour out my heart without shivering or having my voice quiver. This was a reality I never imagined I would find myself in. But alas, here we are. Toastmasters has given me that platform and has given me that training. Growing up, I've always been a very shy and reserved kid. I always go unnoticed because I always kept to myself. And I found comfort in my solitude. I wasn't a troubled kid or a depressed kid, none of that. I just found comfort within myself and in silence. But however, later in life, I got to know that to go further and to achieve some of the ambitions and goals that I have for myself, you have to put yourself out there. You have to be visible enough for the world to see what you have to offer. So if I can wrap up, the one thing I can say, wow, I did it, is standing in front of a group of people and sharing with them my thoughts. Thank you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Sir Mohammed. I'm glad to hear, and I'm very happy to hear how you've flourished over the years in Toastmasters Club, particularly Seaside Toastmasters Club. TM Okere, is now your turn. I hope I pronounced that correctly. It's your turn to pick a number.
Hi, good afternoon. I think I'll take number 5.
Number 5 it is.
Yes.
Describe a situation in the past in which you now wish that you had taken up a responsibility, a task, an assignment, or a role in a relationship. I'll take that again. Describe a situation in your past in which you now wish that you had taken up a responsibility, a task, an assignment, or a role in a relationship.
All right. So, good afternoon, everybody. Can you please confirm that you can hear me properly and you can able to see me?
Loud and clear, and very clear as day. We can see you.
All right. So if I get you correctly, I should describe a situation. I could have taken a role or something like that in a past relationship. Okay. So I had a situation where I was supposed to be in charge of handling some duties and all that. However, I allowed my emotions get into the past because it was saddled around me having to work with someone that I'm not very comfortable with, something like that. However, the fact that I didn't or I couldn't take away that whole grudge or that whole dissatisfaction and all that around working with him made me not put up my responsibility, and at the end of it all, I lost out on something that I could have easily done by just allowing that slide at that time and just having to do the job. And after that, finding a way around it. So I lost out on something, and that was really a terrible experience. So I think that defines something that I know I could have taken responsibility for. Thank you.
Thank you very much, TM Okere, for showing us your humanity and talking to us about something in the past that you wish you had done. And that wraps up our table topics for today, if we are to stay within the time allotted. I will now hand over the virtual lectern to the Toastmaster of the day. TM Emeka, over to you.
Thank you very warmly, Toastmaster Bolale Komalafe, my fellow Toastmasters from Eagle Toastmasters Club. Nice to meet you here, taking on a role. That's what we do. A rousing round of applause to those who chose to flourish by partaking in the table topic segments. Please, let's see your appreciation. Give them a warm hand, please. A warm hand, a warm hand. That was truly energizing, spontaneous growth at its finest. You have reminded us that sometimes the best fertilizer for growth is courage. The best fertilizer for growth is courage, and you've demonstrated courage. Now is the time to vote. But before we vote, I would like to call again on our timer, our diligent timer, Toastmaster Charity, to tell us how the speakers perform in terms of timing. Over to you, Toastmaster Charity.
Thank you, TMOD. For table topics, Toastmaster Marvelous spent 59 seconds. Toastmaster Austin spent 1 minute 21 seconds. Toastmaster Mohammed spent 1 minute 52 seconds. Toastmaster Okere spent 1 minute 35 seconds. Nobody exceeded the allotted time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, timer. So Toastmaster Marvelous Okochukwu only spent 59 seconds. According to the rule, if I'm correct, you have to speak for a minimum of 1 minute. So based on that, Toastmaster Marvelous is not eligible to be voted for. So we have 3 people to vote for. So the Zoom master, you can set up the poll. We have 3 people. The first is Toastmaster Austin. The second is Toastmaster Mohammed Abdullahi. And the third is Toastmaster Enyin Naya Okere. So once the poll comes up, we can start voting. And while the vote is going on, I would like to hand over the baton back to our ebullient and no less fantastic general evaluator, Toastmaster Ebube Modi. You have the virtual lectern, sir.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Emeka, for giving me once again this opportunity to come back up stage. Before I begin, Mr. President, I'd like to confirm if the moment of truth is still happening, or do I proceed with my general evaluation? Mr. President, please.
Please proceed. It will come up after your evaluation. Thank you.
That's the evaluation. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. President, for the confirmation. Now, like we had explained at the beginning of the meeting, we are going to come back to give our report on how well we have maintained the Toastmasters experience. And at this point, we're going to begin by giving you a feedback on all the speeches which you have had, some of the things they did well, some of the things they could improve upon. And we're going to take the sequence of the prepared speech segment, and then we move on to the table topic segment. And at that, I'm going to call on our evaluators who are going to be evaluating the exceptional minds speech to deliver their speech. And I'm going to be calling on our very first evaluator, who is going to be evaluating Toastmaster Oluwatosin. And she is a perfect gentle lady, an exceptional mind who has already displayed it when I was giving my speech and I remained muted. She had to prompt me with all kindness and all tenderness. Please join me, fellow Toastmasters and guests, as we welcome Toastmaster Kofowurola Jagun as she gives her evaluation to Toastmaster Oluwatosin Alayande on her just completed prepared speech. Over to you, Toastmaster Jagun.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Ibube, for that brilliant introduction. Please, can we give Toastmaster Oluwatosin a round of applause? Toastmaster Oluwatosin, you did exceedingly well. I particularly loved the message of your speech. It was beautiful because you taught us the impact of our words. You started with words that people would usually say to people casually without knowing that that could affect their self-esteem. And I loved that through your story, you showed us that these words actually impact people and that sometimes it is best to think before we speak. Your message resonated so much with me, and I'm sure it resonated a lot with everybody here. I would like to recommend that perhaps I noticed that when you started your speech and you were telling us, Tosin, by the time you're my age, you won't be able to walk through the door. Anu, when you gave examples of the hurtful things people said, I noticed that you said it in your normal voice. I would have expected a bit of voice modulation so that we know that, or vocal variety, so that we know that this is someone else speaking and you're basically just trying to quote what someone has said. That would have helped us understand earlier into your speech that you were basically saying what someone else has said. I also noticed that there were no pauses during the course of transition from one thought to another. For example, when you said before you speak, make sure your words go through these three gates. Pausing in that moment would have made it more impactful before you start mentioning the three things people should think about before they speak. Finally, I noticed that when you concluded your speech, it seemed like an abrupt ending, and I was shocked that I was already over. Mainly because it was so lovely hearing you speak. But I would like to recommend that perhaps you use a quote or you just find some beautiful words to wrap up your speech before you close. I loved your speech. You showed great audience awareness, especially when you talked about terms like timber contractor, locked the bushes. You explained those terms to us because you did not expect us to know what those were. And I loved that about your speech. I love that your speech was packed with lessons on things to do before you speak. You said that we should check if it is true, if it is kind, if it is necessary. These were three powerful messages that I am going to take home with me today, and I hope everyone else does as well. Congratulations, and I hope you are able to apply this feedback in your next speech. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster KP. Please, can we use the emoticon to celebrate Toastmaster for this brilliant evaluation, which she has just delivered to Toastmaster Tosin. And now we quickly move on to the next evaluator, who is going to be evaluating the second speaker, Toastmaster Muhammad Kabir. And he is also a perfect gentleman, and he's no other person than Toastmaster Michael Nursery. Please, with a better round of applause, join me as we welcome Toastmaster Michael Nursery to the virtual lectern to deliver his evaluation to Toastmaster Muhammad Kabir. Over to you, Toastmaster Michael.
Thank you so very much, our general evaluator. Please kindly indulge me. I'm on transit, so the noise in the background may be a bit disturbing. So I may not be able to put on my video. For communication to flourish, there has to be understanding. That was a profound one from Toastmaster Muhammad Kabir's speech, delivered with finesse. I love the way you put on your camera. At least that way we could connect and see your fine face while you were talking to us. I also love the way that you use some your personal stories, experiences, and also the experience in your office when you engage different people in the office. I also love your topic, masks. You said communication is not only about speeches, it's about knowing what mask to wear at any time. That is profound because you're simply telling us that there are different communication styles. So your awareness of what to do or what mask to wear when you're communicating to different people is very important. And that makes you a very powerful communicator. However, at the point where you mentioned that one of your staff called your attention that, may I ask you a question? I would have suggested a situation where you actually modulated your voice to actually show that there's a dialogue, but rather your voice was a bit monotonous. So I'd have preferred a situation where you modulated your voice at that time, showing that someone else is speaking. Perhaps your staff in the office might most likely may be a younger person. So you use a voice that would actually depict someone that is younger or that is a staff, the way he called your attention. Then secondly, I would have also loved to see a situation where you actually stood up. That way, it shows that you actually have presence. And that way, you also communicate with us because we can actually see your body language properly. And we would also appreciate your hand gestures as you were speaking. But in all, I think you delivered a very wonderful speech. And I would only encourage that if you infuse these few recommendations, you would have a better outing next time. Thank you. Over to you. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Michael, for the detailed evaluation for Toastmaster Kabir's speech. Please, can we celebrate Toastmaster Michael? In Toastmasters, we do one thing, which is to celebrate people. And please, I'd like us to always use the emoticons, the react buttons to celebrate him. Also use the comment section to, try to boost his energy while they are speaking. Thank you so much. And now we'll quickly move on to the next evaluator, who is going to be evaluating the third speaker, Toastmaster Mary. And the next evaluator happens to be our very own club president, an exceptional man who has gone through the cadres of learning and has become an exceptional representation of public speaking, evaluation expert, and anything that has to do with professional development and professional growth. So he is an embodiment of growth. And now this is his time for him to also deliver feedback to Toastmaster Mary. He is no other person than Toastmaster Kudos Adebayo. Please, with a virtual round of applause, join me as we welcome Toastmaster Kudos to the virtual lectern as he delivers his evaluation to Toastmaster Mary. The virtual lectern is yours, Mr. President. Sir.
Thank you very much, the General Evaluator. That was very kind of you. Please let's give a round of applause to Toastmaster Mary Alademeyin. Alice, the purpose of a speech, a research is for people to learn something. And you can know already that some of us, that some of those that are being joyful is just a cry for help, according to Toastmaster Mary. I love the way you started with a question. She asked, have you ever smiled when your world was falling apart? Then she moved on, transition with saying, I have. She gave us something relatable, something that we could relate with. And every one of us, at least most of us, would have gone through this. And because of that, we were able to connect with her. Then she built up to speaking about mental health. Throughout her speech, you will notice that she did a lot of research. She started talking about definition of mental health according to who. She said 1 in 7 people in the world are have mental health conditions according to who in 2022. She told us the source and even the year that this research was done. She also mentioned that 1 trillion of the world's productivity is being lost because of mental health issues. I love the part when she listed the improvement tips. Run away from toxic friendships, give to others, practice mindfulness, living, relaxing, swimming, yoga, and many things. But I think we should have done better. For a speech that is aimed on research, people need credibility. And how do you show credibility? You can show credibility with the way you give that speech. I think your face throughout your speech was like you were irritated by something and you showed it. You kept your eye away. You didn't give us eye contact. At times you were looking up. You were looking as if you were unsure. All this, with this, your audience may be looking at like you like, does it really know what she's saying? You need credibility for you to give a speech that's aimed on research. I think there are times that you should have took pauses, but instead of you to take those pauses, you were trying to rush through it, and you were losing energy at some point. I like the part where you said depression is not weakness, anxiety is not drama, PTSD is not a issue. Well done, Toastmaster Mary, and it's over to you, the general evaluator.
Thank you so much, Mr. President, for the detailed evaluation that you have just delivered. I'd like to encourage us. The essence of this segment is not just to check a box. It's for us to also have feedback. They say people are our mirrors. You have done your best. We have delivered our best. We are sharing feedback on areas to improve upon. I'd like to encourage you, please take note of some of the positive feedbacks and some of the areas of improvement. Those are for our own good. And this also cuts beyond just people who have given speeches. It also cuts to every one of us that are participating in this call. Try and also take the feedback. It will also help us to become better leaders and better communicators. At this point, we'll quickly move on to the next segment of the evaluation, and that is the table topics evaluation. And our table topics evaluator is a technology consultant and the vice president education at Tutors and Trainers Toastmasters Club. His favorite quote is, "In God we trust. All others must bring data." That was a quote from them. And at this point, I like, please, with a version of applause, join me as we welcome the table topics evaluator, Toastmaster Abraham Yovohan, to take over the lectern and deliver his table topics evaluation. Over to you, sir. The virtual lectern is yours.
Thank you so kindly, Mr. General Evaluator. Please, can you confirm you can hear me loud and clear? Awesome. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and our highly esteemed guests. It is my pleasure to evaluate the table topic segment, and I would like to confirm quickly for Mr. General Evaluator if I'm going to be evaluating the first speaker, Toastmaster Marvelous, or that was a demo speech. Mr. General Evaluator?
Oh, yes, I can hear you. Sorry, I stepped out a bit. Okay. Please
Okay,
proceed with your question.
the first speaker, Toastmaster Marvelous, was that a demo speech, or I can skip evaluation?
So please proceed to evaluate everyone who.
All right, great. Thank you. Thank you for confirming.
Thank you, sir.
I love the way Toastmaster Marvelous started, where she was to write a letter to her younger self and present that letter. Unexpectedly, she started with a flourishing introduction by saying, "Dear Toastmaster Marvelous." That format immediately signals to everyone that this was a letter. And she spoke about quite a number of things, particularly making a lot of figurative statements. To further challenge herself for similar off-the-cuff speeches in the future, I will suggest the use of stories, and also I expect to hear about dreams, like what dreams are currently being achieved, and also a call to action. All in all, it was a beautifully presented speech. We were able to hear her clearly, and we were encouraged from those statements. Quickly moving on to Toastmaster Austin's speech. Toastmaster Austin was asked a question about three people that have contributed to his growth. And immediately, confidently, Toastmaster Austin dived deep into mentioning and thanking God. And that was quite impressive, I must say. I noticed that while he was doing that, Toastmaster Austin was smart enough. I got a cue that he was still thinking who will come next, who will come next, and quickly he mentioned somebody else, which was his sister. And the beautiful thing about Toastmaster Austin's speech was that he didn't just mention these people, he also mentioned the impact they actually made in his life. However, there was no call to action for us to take away. It's always very important to have a call to action, a takeaway for everyone at the end of your speech. All in all, it was a beautiful delivered speech. Keep speaking, keep flourishing. Quickly to Toastmaster Mohammed Kabir Abdullahi. It was a pleasure coming back from your prepared speech. I was looking forward to your story. From your speech, I could decipher and say that you are a man of stories. Beautiful stories indeed. Flourishing stories, I must dare say. And quickly, having been introduced to the question, you came ready to deliver your story. You started with a story. Unfortunately, the technical glitch came up on my end and I was knocked off the call, sadly. However, by the time I came back, the next speaker was already speaking. All in all, thank you very kindly for taking out time to volunteer and take part in the table topic section. Quickly to Toastmaster Okere's delivery. While I came back from that technical glitch, Toastmaster Okere was already speaking, and the first thing I noticed was that the use of a monotonous voice. The voice was monotonous, and there was no vocal variation. However, something struck me by Toastmaster Okere, and that was the way he spoke from the heart. He appealed to our emotion, he appealed to empathy, and I could see that authenticity in the way Toastmaster Okere delivered his speech. All in all, I want to encourage everyone to keep volunteering, keep speaking, keep flourishing. Thank you so much, and back to you, the General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Abraham, for going through these rounds of evaluations and still not dropping the bar on the quality of the evaluation which you have delivered. I'd like to say thank you so much for being thorough and also being detailed. Please, fellow Toastmasters and guests, please join me. Let's celebrate Toastmaster Abraham for doing justice and for also flourishing in the evaluation which he has also just delivered. In this segment, in this next segment that we're about to enter, we're going to be giving the report. Initially, when the meeting started, we had called up the team of role players, the grammarians, the accountants, the timer, and now this is the time for them to come and tell us how we have fared and also give us some pointers on areas we could also improve upon. And at this point, I'm going to begin in no particular order. I'm going to begin with the timer to come and perhaps give us her timing report. And yes, so at that, I'll be calling on Toastmaster Charity to give us her own timing report. Please, the virtual lectern is yours, Toastmaster Charity. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, General Evaluator. For evaluations, Toastmaster Kuforola spent 2 minutes, 59 seconds. Toastmaster Michael spent 2 minutes, 56 seconds. Toastmaster Kudus spent 3 minutes, 25 seconds. And lastly, Toastmaster Abraham spent 5 minutes, 28 seconds. None of the speakers exceeded the allotted time. Thank you. And it's back to you, General Evaluator.
All right, thank you so much. I believe this is in addition to the timing report you had initially given. Is that correct?
Yes, in addition to the timing report I've given for table topics and prepared speeches.
All right, thank you so much, Madam Exceptional Timer. I always meet her when I go to other clubs to play a role, and I really commend you, Madam Timer. Please keep flourishing and continue to give it your best. I'd like to say well done. Our next role player is our accountant, our very own accountant. So please, with a virtual round of applause, join me as we welcome Toastmaster Austin Use to deliver his accounting report. The virtual lectern is yours, Toastmaster Austin.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator. Here is my report. TMOD. Use the word "a" twice and twice. Oluwatosin, while you were speaking, you repeated unwanted twice. Then use the word the twice. My eloquent speaker, Mohammed Kabir, he uses the word this twice. Then TM Mary, you used right 600 times. Oh, I was kidding, 6 times. Then TM Okere, you used I 3 times. You used of 3 times. Was 3 times. Then TM Okere, you also used 7 times. For now, you also used so 1 time. For now, this is all the report that I have, and everybody, I really can say that everyone did well. Thank you very much. Now over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Austin, for the great listening attention which you have just demonstrated. Well done to you for doing a great job. So we'll quickly move on to the grammarian for today's meeting. And our grammarian is an exceptional lady that we had initially introduced. And she's no other person than Toastmaster Bankole. So Toastmaster Bankole, please come up stage and give us your own grammarian report.
Thank you, General Evaluator, for the excellent work you have been doing. So I would like to start by saying that great speeches don't just happen. They happen through language. They flourish through language. So going straight to my account, I will start with the list of those who use the word of the day. And I'll first start with our evaluator, who flourished in the use of the word of the day, and he used it about 4 times. The TM Charity used the word once, while the Toastmaster of the day used it about 3 times. Toastmaster Kofo used it once, while Toastmaster Bolanle used it about 3 times. And lastly, Toastmaster Abraham used it about 3 times. On some improper grammatical uses, the list is just those things I was able to note. And I'll start with someone said that men that go to the wood fell trees. So if we look at it, we'll note that the use of that word, men that go to the wood fell trees, is a bit what will I say now? That when talking about people, it would be nice if we can use who when referring to them. And when talking about the woods, it might be nice to use plural. So a suggested correction might be men who go to the woods fell trees. Another word I noted is event turned out in the nearest future. So when using the word turned out, that suggested a past tense, and also using nearest future in the same sentence, there was some form of mismatch. And a suggested usage would have been events will unfold in the nearest future. Another sentence noted was that the use of the word extreme feel of guilt. So a suggested word that could have been used in that case was an overwhelming feeling. All right, so there were a lot of great usage of quotes, such as the greatest addiction is comfort, growth is a journey and an art. Let your word go through the 3 gates. Communication is the bedrock on every relationship. So the list is not exhaustive, but I would like to stop at this point and say that may our words continue to flourish long after this afternoon meeting. Thank you. I'll hand over to the General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bankole, our grammarian, for doing an exceptional job. At this point, I'm going to now proceed to give the general evaluation report. There is this saying, which I have heard a lot of times from exceptional people with wisdom. They say that every wonderful meeting does not just begin at the meeting room. It begins from the preparations, the planning, all the things that are happening within the backstage. Today has been quite an exceptional meeting. And at that, I'd like to commend the entire executive of Seaside Toastmasters Club, in particular the Vice President Education, for putting forward today's meeting in an exceptional and an amazing way. When this meeting started, First, we started this meeting 1 p.m. on the dot. What an exceptional way to begin a meeting. I'd like to say well done for being so intentional to start the meeting within the stated time, which has been stated in the invite that was distributed to everyone. When this meeting started, we had 12 persons that joined us that were in attendance when the meeting started by 1 p.m. on the dot. And in the peak of attendance, we had a total of 32 persons that joined us. I also like to say well done. The growth in numbers of the attendance from 12 to 32 is quite amazing. I'd like to say well done for all the back channel work that was even going on within the course of the meeting. The Sergeant at Arms started the meeting with so much clarity, beginning with the Toastmasters promise. And, you know, one thing I love about the Sergeant at Arms is that he always comes out with his executive looks from top to bottom. He has inspired people like us who are going to the market again, who forgot to buy cap in today's meeting. Tomorrow, we'll go to the market so that next time when we come off stage, we are also going to be fully kitted as well. One thing I would recommend the Sergeant at Arms to not forget to give as his ground rule is to encourage people to always leave their microphones muted. And so that when people get to forget, that constant reminder can also help them to either put their microphones on the mute. The president was all fired up when he was giving his charge to us today. He left us with multiple pointers, multiple action points. And one thing I noted here is growth is not optional. It is who we are. And indeed, when you become a member of Toastmasters Club, Seaside Toastmasters Club in particular, I'm telling you that growth indeed is not optional. When you see other people putting the work, you also be encouraged to want to put in the work. The Toastmaster of the day, he guided the meeting with so much experience, and one which he has demonstrated with timing. Now you can see the time, 3 p.m. We have used our time properly, considering the amount of speeches which we had gave, and considering the amount of speaking times which had gone round in this speaking segment. So the Toastmaster of the day was quite an amazing person. And the general evaluator forgot to unmute himself at some point. And he always needs to have the presence of mind when he is in a meeting, so it doesn't happen again for him. One thing I'd like to encourage for the audience were cold in today's meeting. They were very cold. They could not clap. We have to start pushing them and try to see how to buy gala and lacasera to distribute to the audience so that they can clap or celebrate people, right? So we are all encouraged to encourage people who are speaking or playing a role, clap or use the emoticon, the virtual emoticon, to celebrate someone so that we can boost their morale. Like you can hear what the third speaker said. The psychology of people. A lot of people might be going through a lot. That little clapping you will give can change the trajectory for that. The speakers were all the educational content they deliver to us. It was intentional because as people do the work. They go through the process of working with their mentors, go through the process of rehearsing, and then when it comes to deliver value. Table topic segment was super fired up. Questions were in line with the team, and it was quite an amazing experience. Yes, there were network interruptions. Yes, the Toastmaster of the day at some point had to intervene to try to see how to calm the audience down and manage. And then the table topics speaker also came back, apologized, and then also began her speech. Also, I noticed a comment in the comment section. In Toastmasters, we don't read. I believe perhaps the Toastmaster of the day could have thrown more light to that aspect, because once we are in public, people have different understanding of different things. And we don't want a situation where we leave people in our meeting not being sure, and being sure. So we want to give them as much as clarity that we can so that we can eliminate all form of doubt. So just to reinforce the message, the response that the president had mentioned, some people were disqualified. There is order in Toastmasters. There are rules and there are regulations. If you exceed your meeting time, yes, some people may waive it, but for this particular meeting, they did not waive it, which means you were disqualified. It's going to teach us discipline on how to respect time when we appear to any audience that we tend to appear. A lot of things happened positively in today's meeting, and I would like to say well done to everyone. And I also got my own feedback. We'll continue to improve, we'll continue to put in the work, and we'll continue to grow. I'd like to encourage everyone who has received feedback, please take it with levity, with love. It's all about love here, and we believe that when we see again, we'll continue to become a better version of ourselves. And that is it from my end on the general evaluation report. Now I'll be handing over control to the exceptional mind who have charged us, who have piloted the affairs of today's meeting with so much enthusiasm, so much experience, and so much friends. Our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Emeka. So please, with a virtual round of applause, join me as we welcome back Toastmaster Emeka for the continuation of the meeting. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Emeka.
Thank you very kindly, Toastmaster Ebube. You can tell that this guy is an experienced Toastmaster. He handled the evaluation segment with so much dexterity. Thank you for that. Our time is fast spent, so I won't dwell too much. As we come to the close of today's meeting, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, let's pause for a moment and reflect. Growth mode on. Just 3 simple words, but they carry enormous meaning. They remind us that nobody's going to turn on the switch for us. We must turn it on ourselves, right? So are you going to take that decision today to turn on your growth mode? Are you going to take that decision today to begin your journey towards growth, to start flourishing? It is saying yes to the unknown, saying yes to challenges, saying yes to learning from our stumbles. It is about showing up, speaking up, and never giving up. It was John Maxwell who said, change is inevitable. Growth is optional. And that will be all from me today. Thank you for being part of this flourishing meeting. And as I hand control back to our exceptional president, Toastmaster Kudus Adebayo. Over to you, Mr. President. Take it away.
Thank you very much, the Toastmaster of the day, for that excellent coordination of today's meeting. Change is inevitable. Growth is optional. But here in Seaside Toastmasters and Toastmasters, growth for us is not optional. We want to go, we have to go. Earlier this morning, we shared a feedback form to all our members and guests to give us feedback on how we are doing as a club. We call it the moment of truth. And your feedback came in, and I will indulge us and plead with us to give us a few minutes to discuss this feedback with us as a club. I will invite the area director, Toastmaster Josephine Agolo, to quickly discuss this within 10 minutes or less. Madam Area Director, are you there?
I'm here, Mr. President.
Thank you very much.
Can I go on?
Please go on.
Jolly! Don't mind Mr. President. I don't know what I did to him that is making his face this way without a smile introducing me. Jolly, jolly, good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. Can I hear someone say good afternoon? I know how this Saturday can be. We are actually looking forward to going to have some rest after a week long. Yes, it is the moment of truth. And I hear some people say, what is a moment of truth? Imagine walking into a Toastmasters meeting for the first time, and the timer is using a lava lamp. Or the counter is asleep, and someone hands you an agenda written on a napkin. Not exactly the kind of environment where a speaker or a club can flourish, right? Yes. And I know that this is not what we do here at Seaside Toastmasters Club, the very club after my own heart. Yes. As the president has earlier said, some questionnaire has been shared before this meeting, and the report I have gotten, the responses I've gotten, and I want us to deliberate, review those feedback, and explore how we can continue as a club to flourish. I'll quickly share my screen and let me know when you see my screen. There were 26 of us here. Please remain with me. I will need your engagement. I know I've received your response, but I will still need your engagement to get a real-time response from you. Please don't drop off the call. It's going to help this club flourish even more. Let's see. Please confirm you can see my screen. Mr. President.
Yes, we can.
Thank you for the feedback, Toastmaster Austin, our very old accountant for today. Yes, the moment of truth. Like I explained, it's a time where we see where the club is and where the club will do better. It is not actually for the time to pass blame, who did what, who is not doing what. It is actually the time where we can, from the feedback we got, we can actually improve on the quality of our club. For the want of time, I'm going to be taking few of what entails in the moment of truth. We have the first impressions, we have the membership orientation, fellowship, variety, and communication, program planning and meeting organization, membership strength, achievement, recognition. I'm just going to take very few, perhaps maybe 2 or 3, because where I saw that the numbers actually went down, people actually spoke about. I will go with the first impression. The first impression. My question, I'm looking at the chat channel. Who do I delegate? Seaside Toastmasters Club, that should be our Zoom master. Please, you will help me with the feedback that perhaps because I'm sharing my screen, I will not see the chat channel. In one word, describe your first impression when you came to Seaside Toastmasters Club. What was your first impression? As a guest, the first time you came to this meeting, I think for those who just joined, I think this is the best question for you to answer. Do we have any answer on the chat channel? Let me see. Okay. Someone is asking how he will join this club very soon. It's very easy for you to join this flourishing club. I can't see any answer. My eyes are on the chat channel. I've been given 10 minutes. If you want to go for your enjoyment, please let me get responses. Okay, from the questionnaire respondents that I got, the club was giving 3 over 5. 3 over 5. What can we do to ensure that the club meets 5 over 5? What can we do to ensure that the club meets 5 over 5? We can see what it entails. Guests greeted warmly, guest book, name tags, professionally arranged meeting room, convenient meeting location, guests invited to address the club, guests invited to join. Perhaps clubs would have been invited to come address the club. It actually gives them opportunity to break the ice and see how they can actually join the club. That's something that I saw for now. And what else? Anyone sharing anything so that we can swiftly move to the next one? I felt a touch of elegance, quite impressive. Thank you. That should be Toastmaster Boma. It's not a Toastmaster. The name looks familiar. Thank you very much. Yes, said a touch of elegance. I will encourage Seaside Toastmasters Club to keep that touch of elegance whilst they hold their meeting. And our general evaluator mentioned something. Clapping. Let people feel welcome when they speak, when they do anything. Let's clap. Toastmasters Club is a clappers club. Perhaps that is something that we need to improve upon. I'll move swiftly to membership orientation. For the new members who have joined the club for the past 3 months, I want to believe that it's most of them that attended to that question. I saw 4 over 5. Mostly, many people gave the club 4 over 5. If you are a new Toastmaster here, please raise up your hand and let us know or share on the chat channel if you have been assigned a mentor. Because Toastmasters is big on mentorship. The more reason why people join Toastmasters is because of the benefits of mentorship. Please, any new member who just joined in July, have you been assigned a mentor? Okay, no response on that. If you have not been assigned a mentor, please go. Okay, I can see Toastmaster Austin's hand up. Have you been assigned a mentor? You might want to share on the chat channel.
No. I haven't been assigned.
Okay. So I think that is why the club got 4 over 5. So Toastmasters International is big on mentorship. I will encourage the club to assign mentor to members who just joined the club so that they could swiftly move into what we actually get to learn in Toastmasters. Because the mentor is the one that shows the way. Because they come, they don't know the way. So they need mentors to be assigned to them as soon as they join the Toastmasters club. I don't know, I'm not seeing the timer. Fellowship and variety communication, let me leave that. I will move quickly to the program planning and meeting organization. I saw that the club got 3 over 5. Most people were saying 3 over 5. How do we improve to ensure that the club gets from 3 over 5 to 5 over 5? Because at Toastmasters, we are super big at excellence. We want to show that touch of elegance in everything that we do. So how do we move this club from 3 over 5 to 5 over 5? Could it be that the table topics are always this very long sentence? Or could it be that we should begin to have maybe food on the dashboard, food on the screen? Somebody clicks on the particular type of food that they like, and the question just pop up, Pah! And it gives that so much excitement. And everybody, when they see food on the screen, they want to pick 1 or 2 questions, as one question as it may. Could it be that is what we need to fine tune? Please, you might want to share how we can get better from where we are to 5 over 5 in Seaside Toastmasters Club. Could it be that we start the meeting on time, but we actually do not finish on time? How do we get to finish the meeting on time? Could it be that we should keep the main thing, instead of reading so much of the profile of our role players, perhaps we should just keep it short. The name, the occupation, the pathway, perhaps the role the person is playing at the club, and then the person's favorite quote, perhaps maybe the hobby. You just keep it short, simple, and succinct in order for us to save time. So we ensure that at every meeting we are closing at 3. Achievement, recognition. All of us on the call, when last were we recognized? Some of us won best table topics just at the area contest where we celebrated, and we called somebody, and I just want a yes or a no on the chat. Where we celebrated at the club level, as in the social media, at the WhatsApp group, everywhere where we celebrated, because Toastmasters is big on celebration, and that is why during conferences there is a day they call the Hall of Fame. We are super, super big on recognition. And why that is, it is because when someone is being recognized, they feel good about themselves and they actually want to do more. And as they do more, the club will continue to flourish. I will call our Vice President Education, Toastmaster Oguna. Please, Mr. Vice President Education, were you celebrated after winning the table topics and the humorous speech at the area contest? Is that a no? Someone confirm they can hear me.
Director
Yes.
is currently not on the call.
It's currently not on the call.
Yes, but I
Okay.
can
Was
confirm
it
that it was
Okay.
celebrated. Thank you.
Okay, you can confirm that it was celebrated. Thank you very much for that feedback. Time will not permit me to go on and on and on, but I will say that you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Every time you have the opportunity to make a very good impression about Seaside Toastmasters Club, grab it, use it, and you see the club flourishing from where it is to even more greater heights. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for the opportunity to do this moment of truth. And if you want me to score the club, it's a club after my own heart. I will say that it is a 5/5 club. Mr. President, why are you still squeezing your face until I say 5/5, right? It's back to you, my very president. Toastmaster Kudos Adebayo.
Thank you very much, the area director. We like having you here, and we always appreciate all you do for us. Thank you so much. So now, before we end this meeting, I have a few announcements to make. I'll make it quick so that we can all leave on time. First, I want to thank the guests. Thank you very much for joining in. I want to thank our speakers, our role players who ensure that we have a wonderful meeting today. And most importantly, we have some great people on the call today. The Division Director, Toastmaster Abubakar Gimba, DTM. We have the Area Director, Toastmaster Josephine Agolo, who are just wowed us recently. We have the Toastmaster of the day. Thank you very much for joining us, Vice President Education for Eco Toastmasters. Our IPP, the immediate past president for Seaside Toastmasters, who played the role of the general advisor today. The Vice President Education for Sule Toastmaster Kofola Jagun. The President for Lighthouse, Mike Enosri. Toastmaster Bolanle, who joined us from Eagle. Toastmaster Abraham, the VP for Tutors and Trainers. And Toastmasters Charity, who joined us from Sule. Thank you very much, everyone. Earlier, the area director mentioned that someone from Seaside Toastmasters went to the area and won the area contest. We did not just win the area contest, we won everything. Every available contest that was on that day, we won it. And I should let you know that this is in a row. This is the second time in a row that we are going to the area to win every available contest. Last year, we won the table topics and the international speech contest. This year, we've gone to win humorous and table topics contest. Congratulations to Toastmaster Ugona, who represented us and represented us well. And congratulations to Toastmaster Marvelous, who also represented us. Thank you very much. I should also celebrate Toastmaster Mohammed Kabil. He completed his level 1 yesterday, right? And he went on to give a speech about starting his level 2 immediately. Well done, Toastmaster Mohammed. And I should also congratulate Toastmaster Mary Alademeni, who just completed our level 3. Congratulations to you also. Also, we have some new members who just joined us, and they immediately started their journey of growth. As I said earlier, Seaside Toastmasters, growth is not an option. It is something that you must do. Toastmaster Bankole Akenyaye, who played the role of the accountant today, welcome to Seaside Toastmasters. Toastmaster Austin Use, who played the role of the accountant. Toastmaster Bankole played the role of Grammy, sorry. Welcome to Seaside Toastmasters also. Toastmaster Eyinaya, who gave a table topic speech. Welcome to Seaside Toastmasters. And Toastmaster Eko who is also on this call. Welcome to Seaside Toastmasters. We also have Toastmaster Anaya, who just joined. As the head editor has said, you'll be assigned a mentor, and we cannot wait to hear your icebreakers. Thank you. We had a vote earlier. The best speaker, you already know, since the other two were disqualified, and the general evaluator had clarified why they were disqualified. Our best speaker is no other person than Toastmaster Oluwatosin Alayonde. Congratulations. Please keep speaking. And our best table topics is no other person than our side at arms, Toastmaster Mohammed Kabir Abdullahi. Congratulations to you, Toastmaster Mohammed. As it was said earlier by this SAA, we were supposed to have our meeting first and second Saturday of the month, but because of the area contest, we had to move our meeting to today. And we will only be having one meeting for this month of October. I know you like to have more meetings, but we had to take that decision because we couldn't meet in the first 2 weeks. And this is our first meeting, and we'll only be having this as our only meeting for October. So the next meeting will be on the 1st of November 2025. And that meeting will hold at a hotel and suites. And it will be a hybrid meeting. If you cannot join us at a hotel, you can join us online. And that day, we will be inducting our new members. I think we'll be inducting 8 new members on that day. So you don't want to miss it. And our new members, welcome. We will welcome you officially to Toastmasters in our next meeting. I want to thank the Vice President Education and Vice President Public Relations for organizing today's meeting. Please follow us on all our social media accounts. And lastly, as we leave today, I want to encourage you to keep your growth mode switched on. Don't put it off. You are not NEPA, so don't put your growth mode off. Keep it on. Take on that next challenge, whether it's at work, whether it's in your community. Volunteer for that next role. Those of you who are running from playing Toastmaster of the Day, come and take it. Keep that growth mode switched on. Those of you that have not given speeches, come and give your speech. The person that I'm talking to already know himself. Keep that growth mode switched on. To our guests, thank you for being a part of our journey today. And we hope that you had fun. Our essay Toastmaster Mohammed will be addressing you and answer your questions about how to join Toastmasters, what does Toastmaster entails. All these questions will be answered. And I can tell you the meeting is, I've officially closed the meeting, but please, guests, wait behind. We want to meet you, we want to hear from you, we want to know why you have joined us today, and we are going to tell you what Toastmaster is about. Toastmaster Mohammed, please take it from me.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you. So, our guests on the call, please, I would like to see you. Can we have you? Can I see your hands up? Our guests. Okay. So we have intending Toastmaster Blessing on the call. And there was, earlier in the chat, I was engaging with intending Toastmaster Olamide on the call. So you would notice we have already marked you as intending Toastmasters. But let me just give you a brief of what Toastmasters is all about. As you have seen a snapshot of what we do, speeches, evaluations, and even impromptu speaking, I want to just quickly share with you the why and what you stand to gain once you begin this incredible journey. But before that, I want to hear from you what you think about the meeting. So please, let's start with guests. Blessing. You can quickly unmute your mic, introduce yourself, say one or two things, and tell us what you think about the meeting so far. Okay, maybe let's take guest Boma.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
I don't know. My name is Boma. And yeah, my name is Boma. So I don't know. I enjoyed, I had a good time. I had a really good time, and I would say that for free. I love what you guys are doing, and I would want to be a part of the movement. So I want to applaud all the speakers in the house, everybody that made speeches. You did well. You did well. It's my first time though, but I just wish we just wouldn't end at the point in which we want to end, but we need to go. So I don't know, it's my first time, and I'm happy being being part of what you guys do. Thank you very much for the privilege.
Thank you very much, guest Boma. I'm sure we are looking forward to have you be part of the people who induct, which, Mr. President, I think that will make it 9 by 1st November. So let me just quickly give you a rundown of what Toastmasters is. As you have seen, we've given speeches, evaluations, and impromptu speaking. We all know that in this very super competitive world we live in, your technical skills might not be sufficient enough to be the difference maker for you in your career. It's your communication. So what that means is Toastmasters can be that element that can supercharge your career. If you join Toastmasters, you'll find yourself to be able to deliver powerful presentations and to be able to think on your feet and also ultimately to be a better leader. You might see us, our core theme will be speaking, but at the end of the day, the motto of Toastmasters is where leaders are made. It's a whole package, that comes with being a Toastmasters member. You get to build unshakable confidence, the courage to speak up anywhere you find yourself. And with impromptu speaking, you'll be able to think on your feet, organize your thoughts clearly. And one unique thing about Toastmasters is we have a very unique learning environment. It's a very safe space. You get instant constructive feedback, in every area. And you be assigned with a mentor, somebody that has been there, done that, to hold your hand and show you the ropes. You might have come across so many seminars, courses that charge exorbitant amounts, but trust me, this is going to be the cheapest and the investment that will have the greatest ROI for you in your career. Bar none. It's internationally certified. Like we have been saying, this community has been around for over 100 years now. We have very well detailed and tailor-made education programs for you that will take you step by step from the beginning, hold your hand along the way till you become very confident in your public speaking ability. Trust me, by the time you finish one level, you'll see a very stark difference in your self-confidence and your ability to express yourself. So without drawing on further, I think I would like to, in the chat box, quickly collect your contacts. If you can drop your contacts directly to me in a private DM so that we can reach out to you with our forms, so that we can quickly have you be part of the team we induct on Saturday come November. Where the president had already said we're already going to be inducting 8, come, let's make it 10. Intended Toastmaster Boma, intended Toastmaster Blessing. And do we have any other guests on the call? I only saw 2 hands up. Okay.
I think we have guest Sean Oladipo, if he is willing to speak. I think
Okay, guest Sean. Can you unmute your mic and say 1 or 2 things, what you think? Well, like I said, we'll reach out to you after the meeting. So at this juncture, Mr. President, I think, well, you have closed the meeting. So this is after meeting extracurriculars, or rather AOB.
Yes. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Mohammed. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining. Please, did intend to Toastmaster Boma? Okay. Did need Toastmaster Boma send his details already, so that we can reach out to him after the meeting? Please confirm that.
No, not yet.
Okay. Intending to Toastmaster Boma, please, if you want us to reach out to you, kindly drop your details, send your details as a private message to Seaside Toastmasters or Toastmaster or Mohammed K. Abdullah, so that we can reach out. And this is for any other person also. So thank you very much.
Where is intending Toastmaster Blessing? They have dropped off.
Bye. Thank you. It's been a great meeting. And have a nice day. All right. Bye. I can see there's Zainab. I think she's here to offer support.
My number
Oh
one
yeah.
support.
It's very important. Do you want to tell us something?
Yes, Zainab, you can unmute your mic and say one or two things.
Okay. All right. I think she's not able to speak right
Hello.
now. Oh,
Good afternoon.
good afternoon.
It was a beautiful meeting as usual with amazing speeches. Thank you for allowing us to join.
Thank you very much for joining, and thank you very much for your support. Because of you, he has completed level 1. All right. Thank you. I'll end the meeting now. Bye.
Thank you. I think I've gotten only 3 contacts.
Okay. Okay. All right. Bye.